There is a part of football that nobody teaches in coaching manuals. It does not appear in formation diagrams. It is never discussed in pre-match press conferences, but it is practiced every week, at every level of the game, by some of the most celebrated managers and players in football history. It has no official name, but inside the game, they call it the dark arts. And it is the most psychologically devastating tactical weapon ever deployed on a football pitch. We are not talking about fouls. We are not talking about diving. Those things are accidents or panic. The dark arts are deliberate, calculated, planned before the match even begins. Time manipulation, psychological warfare, referee management, tactical fouling, manufactured chaos at set pieces, deliberate destabilization of the opponent's best player. Every single one of these is a weapon, and the managers and teams that master them win matches they should never win. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the most ruthless tactical system in football. Not because it is beautiful, but because understanding it is the only way to defend against it. First, let us be precise about what the dark arts actually are, because there is an important difference between playing badly and losing your discipline and deliberately using psychological tactics to break your opponent. The dark arts are a system, a set of tools, each one designed to do something specific to the enemy. Tool 1. Time manipulation. Football is a game of 90 minutes. Every second matters. Teams that are winning, especially smaller teams holding a lead against a stronger opponent, understand this with brutal clarity. Goalkeepers hold the ball on goal kicks for as long as the referee allows. Substitutions are made in the most time-consuming way possible. The player being replaced walks from the far side of the pitch at the slowest pace that avoids a yellow card, while their replacement waits at the halfway line. Throw-ins near the corner flag become 30-second operations. The ball is picked up slowly. The player looks left, then right, then left again. Then they finally take the throw-in to the player standing directly next to them, who passes it straight back to the goalkeeper. This is not laziness. This is a time heist. In a tight match, a team can steal 4, 5, 6 minutes this way. 6 minutes is an enormous amount of time. It is a full assault sequence that the opponent never gets to launch. Tool 2. Psychological warfare. Every great army in history has used psychological operations alongside its military ones. Make the enemy doubt themselves, make them angry, make them lose focus. On a football pitch, this happens constantly and invisibly. A central defender talks to the opposition striker from the very first minute. Not threats, not insults, just words. Constant, quiet, targeted words. You look tired today. Your touch has been poor in the first half. Your manager doesn't trust you. He'll take you off soon. Some of it is false. Some of it is true. But all of it is designed to plant a seed of doubt inside the striker's mind, to make him think about something other than football. And when a player starts thinking about the defender behind them instead of the ball in front of them, the psychological ambush has worked. Tool 3. Tactical fouling. This is perhaps the most misunderstood of the dark arts. A tactical foul is not a foul made out of anger or desperation. It is a foul made with complete calculation. A midfielder is about to launch a counterattack. The opponent fouls them immediately, firmly, just outside the area. Not brutally, just enough to stop the attack. The yellow card is accepted. The free kick is conceded. But the counterattack is dead. The defensive structure has time to reset. In football terms, this is exactly like a controlled demolition. You destroy one thing deliberately to save something far more important. These 3 tools alone can decide matches, but when they're combined with a fourth, even darker weapon, the effect becomes almost impossible to resist. The dark arts do not just happen, they're coached, rehearsed, built into the tactical DNA of specific teams. And 3 men, above all others, have turned these tools into a fine art. The first master, José Mourinho. Mourinho is the greatest psychological warrior football has ever produced as a manager. His tactical genius is well documented. The defensive organization, the precision of his systems, the speed of his counterattacks. But what separates Mourinho from every other elite manager is his complete, ruthless understanding of the mental battlefield. He uses press conferences as weapons. He says things about the opposition manager, carefully chosen words designed to get inside their head before the match even begins. He teaches his players exactly how to manage referees, not by arguing aggressively, which earns yellow cards and sympathy for the opponent, but by questioning, surrounding, and gently, persistently challenging every decision. His Inter Milan team in 2010 that won the Champions League were the most complete dark arts practitioners in modern football history. In the semifinal second leg against Barcelona, the most dominant football force in the world at that time, Inter defended with 11 players behind the ball, tactical foul at every transition, time wasted from the first minute, and psychologically provoked Barcelona's players into losing their discipline. A 10-man Inter held Barcelona to a 1-0 loss, advancing on aggregate. The better team lost. The smarter army won. The second master, Diego Simeone. Where Mourinho is a chess grandmaster, Simeone is a military commander who runs on intensity, discipline, and collective psychological force. His Atletico Madrid teams are not the most talented, often far from it, but they are the most ruthlessly organized. Every set piece is a confrontation. Every transition contains a tactical foul option rehearsed in training. Every substitution is timed to break the opponent's momentum at the exact moment they're building confidence. Simeone has taken Atletico Madrid, a historically mid-table club, to 2 Champions League finals, multiple La Liga titles, and a position as one of the genuinely feared teams in European football. Not through superior talent, through superior psychological discipline. The third master, the AC Milan of Gattuso and Maldini. This deserves its own chapter because this Milan team of the 2000s showed what happens when the dark arts are combined with genuine world-class talent. Paolo Maldini at left back did not just defend, he destroyed attackers' confidence so systematically and so quietly that some of the most gifted forwards in the world had their worst performances in their careers when they faced him. Gennaro Gattuso in midfield was something different, a controlled force of nature, physical enough to intimidate, disciplined enough to stay on the right side of the line. A player whose presence alone changed how the opponent moved in his half of the pitch. This Milan team won the Champions League twice in 3 years, and the dark arts were as important as the football. There is a fourth weapon in the dark arts arsenal, and it is the most sophisticated of all. It is called manufactured chaos, and it happens most visibly, though most invisibly, at set pieces. Here is the concept. When a corner kick or free kick is awarded, the ball is stationary. Play is stopped. Both teams reset their positions. On the surface, this looks like an organized pause. But for teams that have mastered the dark arts, this is one of the most dangerous moments of the entire match. Not because of what they do with the ball, because of what they do before the ball is even kicked. Let me explain what is actually happening in those 30 seconds before a corner. The attacking team's tall center back walks to the 6-yard box, not to receive a cross, but to stand directly in front of the opposing goalkeeper, blocking their movement and line of sight. 2 attacking midfielders position themselves together, side by side, creating a cluster near the penalty spot. This cluster is a decoy. They are not the targets. Their job is to pull 2 or 3 defenders toward them, creating space for the real target arriving from the back post. A third attacker grabs the shirt of their marker just for a moment, just long enough to delay their jump by half a second. That half second is often the difference between a headed clearance and a headed goal. And if none of this produces a goal, a player, usually one of the attackers, goes down in the penalty area, clutching their face. The referee stops play. The opponent, who had just set their defensive shape from the corner, now has to reorganize again. Their momentum is broken. Their set-piece defensive structure is disrupted. The chaos was manufactured on purpose. This is not football at its most beautiful, but it is football at its most militarily intelligent, and it wins matches. May 2010, Camp Nou, Barcelona. Inter Milan need to hold a 3-3 aggregate scoreline against the best team in the world, in their own stadium, in front of 90,000 of their own people. 20 minutes in, Inter's Thiago Motta receives a second yellow card. 10 men, 70 minutes remaining. This should be over. But Mourinho had prepared for this. His players knew exactly what to do. First, the defensive fortress. 10 men behind the ball, every single player assigned a specific zone. No heroics, no individual defending, pure collective discipline. Second, the tactical foul. Every time Barcelona broke through the first line of pressure, a foul. Instant, clean, accepted. The counterattack killed before it could breathe. Third, time manipulation at maximum intensity. Goal kicks held for 10 seconds. Every dead ball situation slowed to the absolute legal limit. The clock devoured, minute by minute. Barcelona grew desperate, then frustrated, then reckless. They pushed more men forward. The gaps grew. But Inter never tried to counter. They held their shape. They accepted the siege. The final whistle came. Barcelona 1-0 on the night, 3-3 on aggregate. Inter threw on away goals. Mourinho sprinted down the touchline in the rain, arms wide, face open. The general who had just executed the perfect battle plan under impossible conditions. 3 weeks later, Inter won the Champions League. The dark arts had won the biggest prize in European football. The dark arts divide opinion. Some people see them as the ugliest side of football, cynical, unsporting, designed to undermine the beauty of the game. Others see them as the highest expression of competitive intelligence, the willingness to use every legal tool available to achieve the objective. But here is what nobody can argue with. They work. Time manipulation wins points. Psychological warfare breaks opponents. Tactical fouling stops attacks. Manufactured chaos creates goals. And the teams and managers who refuse to engage with these tools, who believe that pure football is enough, are the teams that lose tight matches they should have won. Because in a game decided by margins so small they're almost invisible, the team that controls not just the ball, but the clock, the referee's attention, the opponent's mental state, and the psychological energy of the crowd, that team holds an enormous advantage. The lesson of the dark arts is not that football is corrupt. It is that football, like every genuine battle, is fought on multiple levels simultaneously. The visible level, tactics, formations, technical quality. The invisible level, time, psychology, pressure, manipulation of the opponent's mind. The teams that only fight on the visible level are fighting with one hand behind their back. The generals who master both levels, those are the ones who conquer. Here is your question today. Who is the greatest dark arts practitioner in football history, as a player or a manager? Mourinho, Simeone, Gattuso, Ramos, or someone entirely different? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me exactly why. I want the debate. I want the arguments. I want the names. And if this kind of deep tactical exposure is what keeps you coming back, subscribe right now. Every week, we go deeper into the hidden machinery of football that most people never see, because the beautiful game has a very dark shadow. And now, you can see it.